Genesis chapter 1, version 14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, in the upper part of it, commonly called the starry heaven." Some writers, both Jews and Christian, and even modern astronomers, understand this only of the appearance of them and not of the formation of them. They suppose they were made on the first day, but did not appear or shine out so clearly and visibly as now on the fourth day. But it seems rather that the body of fire and light produced on the first day was now distributed and formed into several luminous bodies of sun, moon, and stars. For these were from light. Lights produced from that light are made out of it, or were instruments of communicating and letting down that light upon the earth, which was collected and put together in them, especially in the sun. And the uses of them were to divide the day from the night, which is the peculiar use of the sun, which by its appearance and continuance makes the day, and by withdrawing itself or not appearing for a certain time makes the night, as the light by its circular motion did for the first 3 days, or the diurnal motion of the earth on its axis then and now. And let them be for signs and for reasons, seasons and for days and years, for signs of good and bad weather, for the times of ploughing, sowing, reaping, and for the seasons of summer and winter, spring and autumn, for days by a circular motion for the space of 24 hours, and for years by annual motion for the space of 365 days and odd hours. The targum of Jonathan is, "And let them be for signs and the times of the feast, and to reckon with them the number of days, and sanctify the beginnings of the months, and the beginnings of the years, and the intercalations of months and years, the revolutions of the sun, and the new moons and cycles." And so Jerky interprets seasons of the solemn festivals that would hereafter be commanded the children of Israel. But those uses were not for a certain people and for a certain time, but for all mankind as long as the world should stand. Genesis chapter 1, version 15. And let them for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to continue their luminous bodies as enlighters, as the word signifies causing light, or as being the instruments of conveying it particularly to the earth, as follows: to give light upon the earth and the inhabitants of it when formed. And it was so. These lights were formed and placed in the firmament of the heaven for such uses and served such purposes as God willed and ordered they should. Genesis chapter 1, version 16. And God made 2 great lights. This was his own work which he himself did. and not by another, and may be particularly observed to express the folly of idolaters in worshipping these luminaries, which were the creations of God, and were placed by Him in the heaven to serve some purposes on earth beneficial to men, but not to be worshipped. These two great lights are the sun and the moon, and they may well be called great, especially the former. For the diameter of the sun is reckoned to be about 800,000 miles. According to Mr. Derham, its apparent diameter is computed at 8,22,145 English miles. Its ambit at 25,82,873 miles, and its solid contents at 290,971,000,000,000,000,000,000. The lowest account makes the sun as 100,000 times bigger than the earth. And according to Sir Isaac Newton, it is 9 lakhs bigger. The moon's diameter is to that of the earth is about 27%, or 2,175 miles. Its surface contains 1,400,000 square miles. It is called great, not on account of its corporeal quantity, for it is the least of all the planets, excepting Mercury, but because of its quality as a light, it reflecting more light upon the earth than any besides the sun, the greater light to rule the world, not to rule men, though the heathens have worshipped it under the names of Molech and Baal, which signify king and lord, as if it was their lord and king to whom they were to pay homage, but to rule the day, to preside over it, to make it, give light in it, and continue it to its proper length, and in which it rules alone the moon, nor any of the other planets. Then appearing, this is called the greater light, in comparison of the moon, not only with respect its body or substance, but on account of its light, which is far greater and stronger than that of the moon, and which indeed receives its light from it. The moon being, as is generally said, an opaque body, and lesser light to rule the night, to give light then, though in a fainter, dimmer way, by reflecting it from the sun, and it rules alone, the sun being absent from the earth, and is of great use to travelers and sailors. It is called the lesser light in comparison of the sun. Astronomers are of opinion, as Calmet observes, that it is about 52 times smaller than the earth, and 4,150 times smaller than the sun. But these proportions are otherwise determined by the generally of modern astronomers. However, they all agree that the moon is abundantly less than the sun, and that it is as light. We all know He made the stars also to rule by night. Psalms 136:9. Not only the planets Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, but the vast numbers of stars with which the heavens are bespangled, and which reflect some degree of light upon the earth, with the several constellations, some of which the scriptures speak of as Arcturus, Orion, Pleiades, and the chambers of the south, Job 9:9, Job 38:31. Though some restrain this to the 5 planets only. Yet contrast the foolishness of modern cosmology with the writings of the early church father Theophilus when he states, on the 4th day the luminaries came into existence, since God has foreknowledge. He understood the nonsense of the foolish philosophers who were going to say that this thing produced on earth came from the stars, so that they might set God aside, in order, therefore, that the truth might be demonstrated. Planets and seeds came into existence before stars. For what comes into existence later cannot cause what is prior to it.